The question is, why do we love our grandmother so much? And that question's been asked forever, right? Whenever I'm having an in-depth conversation with an individual, I somewhat like to pick their mind and see how they think and where they coming from, their values, interests, and principles. And I always ask this question. It's kind of like a hot seat question, right? I always ask them, if God granted you the wish to talk to a loved one more time, who would it be and what would the conversation be about? And almost out of 10 times, everyone always says, my grandmother. What is it about our grandmamas that we really love? Was it the acts of kindness that they showed us when we were young? I can recall when I was a little boy, when we used to leave church on Sundays, we'd go up to my grandmama's house, and sometimes I cut a fool and my daddy be ready to whoop my butt. And sometimes I could just run to my grandmama right in her arms, and she would console me and tell my daddy, Charlie, you leave that boy alone. Or even on my mother's side, how whenever we went over her house and she seen us, she was just so excited. She hugged on us, kissed us, gave us like dollars and 50 cents and money and all kind of things. And she was always excited to see my mama. She would always say, babe. And she was using that term before the term was even popular like it is nowadays. But then when we look at our grandmothers, we are always grateful for everything that they left behind that we could benefit from to this very day. We always admire their strength and resilience. As I used to recall, I used to listen to the stories like when they were little girls and dealing with racism in the South and things that they had to learn as women with a whole different culture back in the deep South, and just understanding the greatness of our family because they held traditional values, and they were a walking encyclopedia of information that told us everything that we needed to know about our ancestors, the greatness of our history, and everything that they accomplished in their time and era. And as we commonly say in most black families, Big Mama, she had every single remedy that can heal a sickness, a wound, and one thing for sure that grandmama could do, she could also heal a broken heart. Many of us are true witnesses to these things. But when I talk to a lot of people, the conversations sometimes vary from men to women. A lot of women say, hey, my grandmama raised me. My grandmama taught me how to be a woman. And I'm thankful for that. And I can still eat from the tree of wisdom that my grandmother gave me back to that time. Or men would be like, you know what, my grandmama was very nurturing to me. She was like a second mother. We can't forget Papa. We can't forget Grandpa, because Grandpa was around in them days and times too as well. But the thing about our grandmothers is that they were resilient women. They were loving. They showed us so much about life, and they prepped us for life because they knew what we're going to deal with. But the one thing that I always say about the grandmothers in that time, in that era, now I'm a 70s baby, the difference between then and now is that they grew up. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are living in an era and a time where a lot of adults, they want to live a second childhood. The Bible said, when I was a child, I thought as a child and I spoke as a child. But when I became an adult, I put away childish things. Can you imagine what I would have felt like if I'd have walked into a basement party with my peers and my cousins, and my grandma was down there shaking her butt, listening to NWA, repeating the lyrics, or trying to dress like young girls? I think subconsciously I would have never respected the wisdom or anything she ever had to offer me, because I would have likened her to a child. Fast forward to today. A lot of people who are grandparents, we're bragging about being grandparents because we still look young, but a lot of people don't brag about being parents because they do not no longer think young. They don't even think as an adult. I don't even know if that's a bar. That was kind of corny how I said that, right? But you understand what I'm saying. A lot of grandparents and the elders today are living a second childhood. And I speak about this a lot. I've spoken about this in past and prior episodes. And this is something that we need to really understand and really bunker down on, because our youth are really rebellious. They don't respect us because they don't think no wisdom flows from us, because we're likening ourselves to them. I see on Facebook and IG posts all the time of people in the club with their daughters and their sons talking about 50 where, 50, 60 where. No, 60 and 50 right there. But is that we have not separated the culture from being adults and elders to still trying to act like we're young. And I understand it's cool. Like, I'm not telling anybody who's up in age in their 60s or 70s that you just need to go somewhere, sit and just get decrepit and don't move and just die and wither away. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, or should I say, I'm questioning you, that when you leave this world, what are you leaving behind with your grandchildren? What are you leaving behind with your children that money couldn't buy? What type of jewels and wisdom are you leaving behind that when your grandchildren, when they get older and a person asks them the same question, Who's the one person that you miss the most that you wish you could talk to? If they don't say grandma, grandpa, that means we dropped the ball. That means they probably never respected us as adults or the wisdom that they felt like they could draw from us, right? Which is a lot of time we find that our youth really rebel. They don't respect us and they disobedient. But they listen to other people or other figureheads who are really insignificant rappers and entertainers. Like, you really want that to be, you really want our children to be raised that way? So with that being said, I brought up this episode and I think it's very critical that we need to always consider why we love our grandparents, why we love grandma. Is because we can distinguish and draw from grandmama as a deep well of wisdom, love, kindness, and nurturing. We need to be on that same path. A lot of time people knock the old school and that was back then. And we think because technology is advancing, man is advancing, when man is really not advancing. Actually, a lot of us and people in our community, we really are experiencing arrested development, if truth be told. But we can always change the problem. We can always still come back on top. I'm not telling you not to enjoy your life. I'm not telling you not to travel and party and do things, but do it in context. When the elders back in the day, when they got together in a party, you know what I'm saying? It was civilized. It was a lot of joking and laughter, but they always had a part of the conversation where they wanted to solve the problems in the family. They wanted the men, the broken pieces, and bring them back together. But they knew that their time on this planet wasn't long. And so they left us with things that we could supplement to help carry on with our lives to this very day. So that's why I love my grandmama, both of my grandmothers, to this very day. And no, I would never hear or see from them again in the physical realm, but I can hear their voices. And I have some of the sweetest, fondest memories of both my grandmothers, and the beauty of having video footage and things that you can record with. I can always go back and just bring them back to life again in the video or look at them in some pictures. So listen, man, I'm always thankful for anybody that comes to support the podcast, man. For those who've been rocking with me for 2 years, I thank you so much. If you like the content that I share on this channel, please like, share, and subscribe so we can get the algorithm up. That will help me tremendously. The analytics say, I only get so many views, but when I look at the analytics, there actually are quite a few of you that are watching the show. And I always want to give a shout out to those who always make it known to me that they support me, that they watch the show. My guy Fred in Alabama, I am always grateful for you, brother, for you always let me know if I'm doing good, and you support the show. Thank you. Everybody who has bought the book, and if you have not bought your copy today, Empowering the Perfect You, Self-Improvement Tips for Black Men in an Era of Rejected Masculinity, get your copy today. And ladies, mommies, aunties, sisters, cousins, don't be shy of this book. Listen, this book could be used for your sons, your nephews, hell, sometimes your uncles, maybe even your husband, because it's a book based on self-improvement. This is not a female woman bashing book, right? But this is to help keep men on path, on course, focus, so that they can achieve the goals of their life. But really, for me, and I always say this, the main focus of my platform is for us as men, no matter the ethnicity, even though I am partial to black men because of our reality in a total global system of white supremacy that is still in existence. I still say that you could benefit because we have to be the best fathers that we can be for our children. We have to raise the change that we can see. And I always tell people, I don't argue with adults. I don't debate with adults. One thing that I learned when I was around Allah's 5%, a lot of the guys on earth, we learned that Allah always taught us to teach the babies because the babies were the greatest. So I say, if you're going to spend anything with your time and energy, go to the babies. Teach them what you know, your passions and your gifts for solving problems. Okay? So, always, man. So like, share, subscribe, and listen, man. Brother, man, is a little heartbroken. My Steelers, they got knocked out this weekend by the Baltimore Ravens. Listen, I'm a fan to know when we not that team. We haven't been that team, but shout out to Coach Tomlin. He's always been great. He's a winner. We have winning seasons. Hey, we'll be back next year. I don't know. Me personally, I thought Justin Fields should have been a starter, but that's just me. No knock on Russell Wilson. Great guy, great quarterback, and that's Sierra's husband. But anyway, also too, man, is the beginning of the 2025 BSC softball season. It started this weekend down in Florida, the Challenge Cup. Cali came and won it in the women's division. I see y'all, Cali. West y'all. So listen, shout out to everybody. Good luck. I wish everybody to have a good season, avoid injuries. And listen, man, enjoy the game while you got time and your body's still upholding. Enjoy, and don't take your health for granted. All right? Never take your health for granted. Man, I almost forgot. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a new channel. It's DTE Baseball, Coach Red Baseball Training and Coaching Tips. I believe I'm going to launch it tomorrow or maybe today. First little video is a 3 little minute video, but you have to check it out for yourself. So also, if you do not mind, go over there, hit like, share, and subscribe. Please, if you love your boy, if you want to see me grow, if you believe in me, support me. Oh man, support me because I'm gonna support you. All right. Trying to get a little setup going. You know, I get tired of wearing the headphones, and you know how they always fall down my ear. So I'm trying to do a little thing a little bit different, right? All right, man. Hey, look, as I always tell you, man, we bring it sexy back to the everyday hardworking men and women who impact your life within close proximity. We want to rise above the current state and the madness, which is called Black culture. I want to hold high-level conversations for the young, confused mind so we can solve problems in our community. And as I always say, man, the biggest mistake that you can make in life is to think that you have time. Happy New Year to everybody. Let's make this year count. Until next time, peace.